because he's exhausted. He
Over
has
40 for
he
sure.
has he has 41 points at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He played almost the entire game pretty much, but 43 minutes. Oh, that 41 seconds. It was perfect. 41 seconds. Yeah, he's been playing 43 minutes at this point.
Yeah.
He gets the ball and immediately drives to the rack, which it seems very simple, but he knew what he needed to do. He scored within 4 seconds. He gave himself enough time. And this is what I'm saying. This is where it becomes the Ali kind of game where, all right, I took my punches. Now I got to go in for the kill.
So just explaining some basic basketball, the reason why he has to get it quick and the reason why everyone knows he has to get it quick, you probably know this if you're watching the show, but a 2-for-1 is the idea of that when there's a minute left, you getting 2 possessions where your opponent only gets 1. You want to try and fuck your opponent so that they are kind of caught between that, that like under 30-second mark. So you can still get that possession. So to your point, Jordan had to get this layup quick, and all 25,000 people or 20,000 people in the building know that it's going to Jordan, and he's got, to your point, that he's got to get the most efficient shot possible.
Yeah. I didn't even think about breaking that down. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, and then we get into this sequence, which is probably one of the most iconic. It creates one of the most iconic shots ever. You get
so this shit is fucking priceless, though.
How it happens?
Yeah. So Rodman and Malone, who've been fighting all series.
And this is the thing about Jordan. This is what makes him so great. Look at what he does here. He takes advantage of Karl Malone. He's paying attention to the moment. Karl Malone is fighting for position with Dennis Rodman.
3, 2.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he's trying to fight for position here. He doesn't check his right side, his strong side too. Like you should really know, because that's exactly where you're about to go. You're gonna try to go to the right, to your right side to get that easy layup. And
that's what I think. But is that because we're children of Shaq? Hear me out. Because Shaquille O'Neal, right? Shaq's one of your favorite players. Shaq's one of my favorite players. We both watch a ton of Shaq footage. If that's Shaq on Rodman right there, he's dropping the shoulder, maybe throwing the elbow, and doing exactly what you said, get that layup. So he better look to his strong side, right? Malone kind of likes to put you on the block a little bit like Barkley, bounce around a little bit, and then hit the fade or something like that. So maybe he's just not thinking about it because he feels like look at how his legs are positioned. Yeah. Maybe he's not thinking about it like that.
So the reason I feel that way is because of his positioning. For me, if it was me in that same position, obviously I'm not an NBA player, but I'm looking at it. I know where I'm at in the court. We set this up for this easy possession.
Right.
Once I get that ball, I know literally I have a bunny right to the basket.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he's bigger than he's obviously over the last 2 games he's been doing pretty well against Rodman. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's trying to take advantage of that positioning and moment. But then we can continue.
Last thing, I just want to run back to the Stockton make. So this is the last make. Karl, see how he's dribbling, right? Just like I was talking about?
Yep.
So he's going to dribble. Watch where Scotty's going to come with the double. Scotty's right here. Watch where he comes with the double. The opposite side.
Yep.
Right? So so if you're Karl, I got to imagine that's where you think the double's coming from.
Yeah, because that's where they had been doing that all game. Like if you actually look at the entire game, they had been coming on that side on the left side for the double team. So it might have just been. I don't know if Jordan's that smart where he's just like, all right, I'm going the opposite side now.
Yeah,
like, I don't know if he was that like maniacal. Huh?
You don't want to give him too much credit.
Yeah, exactly. But he was always one thing that we know about Michael Jordan is his. They said he had cat-like instincts, and watching him, you definitely saw that, and he definitely takes advantage of that right here. Like he doesn't even let he doesn't even let him get set up. Once that ball, he was waiting so much for that ball. Like, I can't believe Stockton didn't. I mean, I guess like it was happened so quickly.
Stockton it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
When you watch it in real time like this, like look at the shot clock. I don't even think a second goes off the board.
Yeah.
11, 10, and by the time 9 comes out, falls out of his hands.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens like that.
Yeah.
And the wherewithal of Jordan to just go, fuck my man. I'll leave him in the corner. And also, this is 90s basketball in a nutshell. In 2021, maybe Michael cannot leave him. Because in 2021, Hornacek, who is a shooter in this era, if you're leaving a shooter in the corner open, you're going to have the same situation that happened a second ago with Stockton, right? Where he throws it, where Malone has to throw it across and you have the wide open 3.
Yeah.
Jordan feels comfortable with it because he is just not worried about it.
And plus, just the pass to Hornacek would have been a horrible pass. It's a cross-court pass. Not going to. That's definitely IQ.
It did just happen. It did just happen with Stockton to the wing.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. But it was, not to get super technical, but it was Karl Malone, bigger. He was a bigger guy, going over the entire defense. Having John Stockton there, he's one of the smallest guys on the court. You're not gonna have that court vision. Probably not gonna have that good of a pass either. And I'm pretty sure Jordan knew that. Like that was one thing that I would give Jordan credit for because he would know you're not about in this moment. He's not giving it to Hornacek.
And this is one of those moments when you see him with the ball right here, and you see this little amount on the clock. It's like I would be freaking out. Like in my if I was watching this with my friend, like if we were watching this at the house, fucking, we would be sitting there just like.
Because of how I was with Kobe, I know I would have been the same thing with Jordan.
Yeah,
I would have been yelling to everyone, "It is over." I used to do it with Kobe all the time. I know for a fact I would have said, "This is done. Watch this. Watch what's about to happen," and it would have happened, and I would have been going freaking insane.
30 million people are watching this moment.
And at the time, to me, this might be the greatest shot in NBA history. Not so much in 2021, but
nailed it, and let the jump shot, let the wrist, what they teach in PE class.
In my opinion, what he really should have done was just let that be his final moment as a basketball player.
And just leave the arena just right after this, after he got everybody up. Just
no Wizards years is what you're saying.
Yeah, just retire like that. Like there would have been nothing to compare it to. Like, because really, like he got a little bit more stats in those last 2 years, like that added to his legacy, but it wasn't enough for what he did right here solidified. This is what makes Michael Jordan Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And then ending it like that on a game winner would have been the craziest shit in the world. Like, is this not like this sequence is pure what Michael Jordan is?
Yeah.
His anticipation. His cat-like instinct, ability to steal the ball, be smarter than everybody on the court, and then deadly at the end of the game to win you the game. Like, it's just perfect.
And that's kind of what I was referring to earlier when I was talking about how he really never had a game like this. Like he had buzzer beaters before, he had game winners before, but like there's nothing else
to close out a series or what?
There's just nothing else in his catalog that's nearly as iconic as this in hindsight. When we have everything in front of us, like the shot on Elo is probably there, but after that, like this shot is just so, or this last minute is just like, it's so legendary.
Yeah.
Considering he has the weight of the entire basketball world on his shoulders to get it done.
Yeah.
Like universal appeal, universal people loving him and wanting him to make this shot.
Yeah.
And just being able to be the guy that allows somebody like you to go, guys, it's over. Watch this. It's over. Everybody look, watch the screen.
Yeah.
shake hands with everybody before the time ends. Just one of those.
If you're talking to your friends and whatever, stop. If you're on your phone, even though there's no phones at this point, stop. Yeah. Watch this screen and see your greatness happen. 100%. And I just said, I think this is the greatest sequence in NBA history, so I agree with you. There's nothing in his career that happened like this. I do think he's had bigger moments in, like, not moments, sorry, but bigger games. But in terms of what he just had to do in this game, for sure, I agree with you. He never had that weight on him, for sure. Maybe the closest was the 93 finals when but that was a different kind of weight. It was just more so like accusations and stuff like that. This is over. Like, we know, like, if you don't win this game right now, you're most likely not going to win this series. Like,
I ask the same question I asked you when we finished 2016's finals, talking about LeBron. I'm asking the same damn question I asked them. How many other players, if you just took Jordan out and put them in this game, could get this done under the same circumstances? The short list.
Very short.
Maybe Kobe.
I would personally Kobe, Bron. I think Larry. I think Magic. I honestly wouldn't have Kareem. That might be a little hot take, I guess, but maybe I don't know. I think that might be.
So for me, you want to hear my list?
Yeah.
Want to hear my list? This is the full list, in my opinion. Kobe Bryant, LeBron, and this last one's definitely going to shock you, but it won't if you absorb it for a minute. Kawhi Leonard would be the third guy I could see legitimately doing that. Just for one game, you got the skill set. Just play both.
You just went with the architect, though. You went pure architect.
There's a reason why I say the things I say, and that's the truth. I just think you need a guy who can shut down basically anybody on your on the opposing team, can have the wherewithal to make insane defensive IQ moments, right? And can create their own shot and hit a shot on basically anybody. It's a short list. It's a really short list.
Well, are you saying to win it like this, or just win this game with these circumstances?
Win this game with the circumstances.
Yeah, I don't think, because I think Magic and Bird would just do it differently, but I think they would do it.
That's why they didn't make my list, because I think maybe Larry could probably do it, but again, it would be very different. And Magic has done it to an extent, but it was very
worse. And to me, against a significantly harder team. Those 76ers, look them up, or you could just look in our Magic's legacy breakdown, and we break that shit down.
But
those 76ers were significantly better than this Utah Jazz team.
Last question of the game. Push off or no push off?
We ain't calling that shit, boy. Stop with this. We literally just, like with Reggie Miller, we just talked about it, and freaking, he pushed Jordan pretty much to half court and made the 3-point shot, and they didn't call it. They weren't going to call this shit. Like, this is, like, very... I don't think he pushed them hard enough either. Like, you don't even see that much of an extension.
Yeah,
like,
that's more my question. Maybe not so much... Did it have...
In any era, it could be now, 2010, 2000, 50s, anything. They're not calling this. They're not calling that.
That's, yeah.
Especially now on Michael Jordan.
See, I never looked at it like that. I always assumed they were never going to call it. Like, that's a great point that you made. Like, I always assumed they were never going to call it. But do you think that he gave him enough force? Or do you think, as Bob Costas said, it was the equivalent of a maitre d' seating you at your table.
Oh, 100%. I've done this to someone, and it's strictly off of looking at this.
Yeah.
I pretty much followed it, and it's because he's bringing in all of his pretty much like force to one side. So he's going hard at that one spot. You got to think about it. Jordan literally just drove to the basket on him, like in that same area. Yeah. So Jordan is playing a mind game right now. He's pretty much saying, you're going to think I'm going to the same exact spot. Yeah. And I'm going to take advantage of all your momentum, pull back, and get an open-ass shot. Like, that was all a mind game on him.
It's one of the best crossover jump shots of all time.
Oh, my God. To me, like, strictly off of, like, creating your own shot, like, the moment. Like, I would say this is the greatest shot of all time. But Ray Allen's, obviously, with the circumstances, everything was insane. But Jordan did this all on his own. This is all created on his own, and it's just so beautiful. This is the way you want to end the series,
yeah. And
come on.
No, go.
This goes back to the year before. What did we say? Jordan, when game was tied, he told Steve Kerr in the huddle, I'll pass it to you. And I feel like the only reason he would pass it to Steve Kerr there is because game is tied. We could still go to OT. Game's on the line. He didn't even think about it. There was not a thought in his brain about passing it to anybody. Scottie Pippen was wide open in the 3-point line.
But he wasn't getting the ball in this game.
No. I agree, but I wouldn't have done it. If I was Michael Jordan, I would have done exactly what he did.
Dennis Rodman is the best in the documentary because he goes, I saw him jog down the court with the ball, and I said, I'm going to plant myself right here at center court. He is not going to pass this fucking ball. He is not going to pass this fucker. He is going to shoot that shit.
Yeah. And that was the best. Because to me, these kind of moments is how you know the kind of play. LeBron would have possibly passed that ball. Not trying to
pass the ball in similar situations.
Exactly. And maybe it would have been a nice situation. Somehow it always finagles to he made the right play or whatever. Jordan created the play. Maybe that might have not been the right play, but he created that opening and made it a good play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but that's the difference in mentality. To me, that's how you know the type of player the person is. Because it's different. It really is different when it's tied versus if you're down. Because if you're down, it's like if someone misses this, I'm gonna be pissed. So I want to be the one to miss it if someone's gonna miss it. That's just the way you gotta go.
I think if we're putting if we're looking at it as it's not a mentality, because I agree with you that it is. But if we're going to look at it as saying it's not a mentality, it's just Michael Jordan showing why he is the greatest scorer to ever live. Because he's the great. It goes back to what we started this very full legacy breakdown with. He's the best person at his job to ever have a job, whatever that fucking quote is.
Yeah, I love that.
Best. He's the best at that skill.
Yeah,
he is the best at getting a strip in the clutch situation and getting a mid-range jump shot. He is the best possibly ever at that skill.
Yeah,
and it's crazy.
And this goes back to, and this is what and this is just gonna be a Michael Jordan cock-eating moments, but it's necessary.
Yeah,
these are the things. You got Wilt Chamberlain, you got James Harden, and you even have Kobe Bryant. You have guys who were great scorers, but they didn't do it like this. Kobe was obviously that's why he's the second. That's why everyone considers him the second greatest shooting guard, whatever. But Michael Jordan did it in this way. He scored, but he played the best defense in the league, or arguably the best defense in the league. And he at the end of games, it was pretty much, it's over. if you give me the ball last.
Yeah.
And you can't say that about some of these great scorers. Like Kobe was good at it, but not like Jordan. Like, and that's why he's considered the greatest. Because at the end of the day, when you have a great team, you're always going to be in the game. Once you get to that, and this is why I really do feel like killer mentality. This is where the killer mentality separates people. Because when, like, for instance, Jordan and LeBron, I do think LeBron has some type of a killer mentality, but
sure,
like they both are good enough to get you towards the end of the game where it's close.
Yeah.
But when you have that killer mentality, these moments are created where I'm gonna win at any means necessary. I don't care what the circumstances are. I want to win because I want to freaking
take your heart out. I want to take your heart out. I want to end this game. I need to end this game because it's a total understanding of the moment. It's a total we always see on ESPN and like Stephen A. Smith and Skip It. We always see these guys talk about sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm.
This is the definition.
Mm-hmm.
This is the definition of sense of urgency.
Yeah.